How's it going, guys? I'm Bronc Beast from a new member on the Powerstroke Nation page. I just wanted to post this video on me checking my compression on my 7.3 diesel motor. This is a 2000 F350 Super Duty, 2-wheel drive, automatic transmission with a 7.3 motor in it. Why I'm doing this is because I have 378,000 miles on it. I bought the truck secondhand and everything else. My transmission just went out. But before I go and spend money on a transmission and all your good advices on different upgrades and shift kits and everything else, I wanted to check and see what I was working with the motor first. So I did some research and I figured out how I could do it without having to send it to the Ford dealership and pretty much get results that I would feel comfortable with and I can trust. Again, the motor that we're working with, pretty typical. I'm sure you guys see this often. It's just a 7.3 motor, no power upgrades. The only thing I have is a K&N air filter in here. Everything else is stock and it's very dirty, hard used motor. Now, I'm kind of a broke college kid, so I live in an apartment here in New Orleans. I don't really have a lot of space for a big, snap-on tool chest, this and that. So you'll find in this video and other videos I post, I try to get away with the best, kind of like not the most necessarily the most cheapest option, but the most cost-effective option for me. I still want to get a tool that's going to get the job done. Nothing like the right tool for the job, but again, I just can't go afford Craftsman and all this crazy stuff. So I want to show you what I was able to do this project with. I was able to, for this whole operation, we're going to be able to check the compression and everything with just what you see here. This is just a standard 40-piece Stanley toolkit from Walmart. I got these two standard and metric wrench sets from AutoZone for like 10 bucks. Got this Husky deep well socket 1/4-inch drive kit from Home Depot, again like 10 bucks. This is Pittsburgh brand plier kit from Harbor Freight again, and just an old flathead screwdriver. Now the key part is this right here. Believe it or not, all the ones I could find on the internet were $100 for a diesel engine compression tester. And what this does is it checks compression through the glow plugs on the motor. Easiest, fastest way without having to remove any of your rocker boxes and all this other stuff. Happened to pass by at Harbor Freight, saw it, picked it up, 30 bucks. Works perfectly. So this is what you got. It can handle all kinds of different diesel motors and everything else. It comes with a hose with the gauge up to 1,000 psi. The hose, and however you can see how I had to rig it here. You'll understand why later. But this was originally just screwed into this swivel fitting. Now, for these motors, as far as the best features I could find and figure out, an OK motor almost needs replacement is at 350 psi. A brand new motor is at 400 psi. Now, there's a lot of stuff saying you want to test it warm or with the motor warm. Some people saying, oh, you need to test it cold to get a real true thing so that your piston and rings and everything else aren't expanded on it. I just went ahead and tested it cold. I felt like that was probably the truest way to not have lie, and on top of that, I just didn't want to run the motor. I can't at this point, this and that. So I tested it cold. Any responses to that, maybe my numbers are off, I'd love to hear about it and everything else. So let's get together. I'm going to show you now the way to take it apart and everything else. I'm going to do my best to tell you the right tool size you need and everything else to get the job done. And just again to help, I really want this to be an educational thing, show you guys that with like cheap tools and everything else, and just a little bit of, parts changer in you, you can get this done. So, heading to the front of the truck, bringing most everything we need for right now. Is just going to be this and the toolkit right here. Alright guys, so back up at the front of the truck. What we need to do is get over to the camera, and I'll show you right here, down to these valve covers. Everything we're going to be doing is obviously under the valve covers, for those of you that don't know. So we're going to start that off by taking off your air box, your air intake hose. I have nothing fancy here for my application. I want to go ahead and remove this red hose, vacuum hose, off. This is the turbo wastegate. Also, there's a green hose on this side. I can show you right here. There's that small little green hose. And then underneath there is going to be your PCV valve hose that goes to the doghouse on your driver's side valve cover. Once you do that, 8mm socket or flathead screwdriver, if that'll work. Unratchet that, and then you can pull this off. Take this, put it back in the truck.
Are you coming back?
Now, this side's actually pretty easy, you know, compared to the other side. Same thing. What you're going to use right here is a deep well socket, 12mm, to start pulling off these band clamps. And again, I just use 1/4 inch drive. That's what I have. It just works out better. Just undo it until the spring. You already notice I already have one off, but just to show you what's going on. I'm sorry. Cancel that.